Hey guys!
Today we will talk about copying tattoos, being called out about it, and in general posting other people's stuff as yours.
And acting like you own it.
Boom.
Like, come on. I wanted to talk about this for a long time. We actually did a few times.
Yeah, we have the whole episode linked here and in description about copycat type of situations, but this will be a bit different approach on it and from a bit different perspective. Quick intro that you can skip. Welcome to Tattoo Shop Talk, which is sort of weekly web show where we talk about tattoo shop related stuff, stories, tips, tricks and tutorials and reviews and whatnot, and this type of a bit longer chit chat type of podcast wannabe situations. Back to copycat.
Hell yeah! So, you have some new experience
Yeah.
about it?
Somebody made my Sunday. Like, let's roll into the story. Guy comes in, he's like, I want a tattoo like this. He sends me a screenshot of something. I didn't even know that it's from Tattooist. Like, I saw it and it was just so... It was such a basic thing that I was like, oh, okay, whatever. What do you want? He's like, oh, maybe we can change like shoes on a character or something. So there was some of those classic drop type of situations. Like that basic type of writing, and it said certain thing that it reminded me about some hardcore band. So I asked like, is it related? He's like, no, I just found this guy who drove these things, but we like changed, like, you know, we put exact amount of fingers on the hands like as it should be on a person, changed a bit some things, changed kind of the whole outfit on a thing, but kind of the positioning of the figure and the text and of those drops were the same, and we just like made it and whatever, you know, it was like just a...
It wasn't, I saw it, it wasn't the same tattoo. Like, even, like there was some parts, like the silhouette of a tattoo was the same, but that's it, like all the details, but it's not, the story is not about how it looked, but the fact that these kind of tattooers who usually whine about fucking someone else stealing their work are actually tracing it also from other old school traditional classy designs. And all this tattoo industry is based on copying and whatnot, reproducing what you already have and
hopefully improving and maybe mixing styles, but anyway.
Especially if it's like a guy who does small size tattoos that not even fit in tattoo kind of culture. It's like a new kind of
I call that style more like a souvenir tattoo. So if you are fascinated by someone as a person and they do these doodles, you can like, you can have that from them and be like, oh look, I got this from that person. But in that particular case, I didn't like, I looked at it, I was like, oh, okay, it's this stuff, and I didn't even assume that it's a tattoo design. I thought it's some computer game fan doodles.
Exactly.
Plus, when the situation happened and checked other things, it's one of those flash sheets that you can make on iPad in like 20 minutes, and you can see that there's also a classic inspiration of all the ski mask things, the hand with holding revolver that's popping up first page Google or Pinterest. So I do that tattoo, I forget about it, and I live my life. And one nice Sunday, I see a message with that tattoo and that reference, and I was like, what's going on? And somebody's like, this is not cool. I'm like, yeah, it's referred to exactly that thing. All the stuff starts with like, oh my
Smoke's
god,
coming out.
Yeah, the phone heats up, you know. They're like, oh, you copying stuff and all that. I was like, you know, it's changed, but yeah, it's referred, and if it's like, if it's yours, I can mention that it's referred to yours, and no, you just like want easy money and all that stuff. And I'm like, so like, what's the point of this conversation? So I told the person, the best you can, like, if you're being this way, you can repost it on your social media and just enjoy your moment of fame. And then it's all this starts, blah blah blah, you stealing, it's the easy money. Because at that point I was like, okay, that person is being a dick, and like, you know, if it would be one of those things like, oh, that's my design and it kind of sucks and I'm upset, and I'd be like, oh shit, like, I'm sorry, but I didn't know that person exists, that tattooist exists. Okay, there's whatever amount of followers, but it's not somebody like known, and one of the replies was just like that there's full internet, like you open any Pinterest, any like one of those minimal type of a things, like you know, everyone wants to be
It's really
everyone
like
wants to
nothing-
be a trap house tattooer now and minimalist and whatnot. It's like everywhere.
Even if you take experience or take a reference from known tours, like they make books with sketches, like of course there you always have to be ready that someone's gonna trace it, because there is no way people don't trace popular tattooers' work.
One of
So, and they don't fucking post that shit all the time, like, oh, this guy stole my work. Sometimes you see something funny, like with the guy who steal all design with the nipple, you know, and like shit like that. But like some old-timer tattooers even made podcast about this kind of topic. All tattooing is based on copying. It was like back in days like that. If you can do your own style work, amazing, do it. But dude, like, there's all kinds of shops. There's walk-in shops. There's all kinds of shops. Some people, yeah, you fucking, the money is really important. You, if you do a good work and a customer really asks for this type of tattoo, and you already did a lot of changes to it, so it's not the same design.
one of the points was
It's
like
just terrible.
the drops, like the, I don't know, teardrops, blood drops, whatever, they the same. And I was like, they classic, that's how you draw them. And the text is like, yeah, it's very basic text. And it's like, oh, like, this is not traditional, you like traditional classics, you can't copy it, this is my like art. I was like, listen.
First of all, why the fuck you use computer to draw your shit then? Like, if it's classic, traditional, like...
But considering that I made changes, I said, listen, like, if you refer to this as being stolen, then it's as unique as the artwork itself, because it takes no time to do those things. And like, if I would look at it and redraw it, I would redraw the same shape.
Yeah.
You know? So this is what happened. I traced the shape and had my changes and all that. Turns out that person who said, I'm this, I'm that, was actually posting that on their stories.
Oh my god.
The person who had that tattoo wrote me, oh, like, sorry, this is happening. I'm like, you want to see the conversation? He's like, no, I see it on that person's stories, and some random people are inviting that guy to those stories, and it's this big action happening in that type of situations. That's my favorite subject. So I enjoy that conversation, and I talking with the guy, and I'm asking, what's the point? Like, why are you saying? So if you don't want to be mentioned, if you don't want me to say I'm sorry or something, like, you just being straight up dick. There's nothing more, just preaching. And I also let the person know that.
Yeah, but one of the things why people do this is just, again, on one more way to show like a being attention freak, you know, like, oh, look at me, my art is stolen. Like, there's nothing. First of all, the guy has nothing to do with art. This is not art. This is like, you are like illustrating some simple shit on your laptop. Sorry for my language. And the other thing I wanted to say is, you as a professional, you explain person, you still make changes in the design, you explain the person what is what, and if the person really wants it, like, it's up to you to do it or not, but you did it, and it was a good work, and fucking doesn't matter if some guy who just started as well wants to do this stuff. Usually these are people who just started. They are so focused on what they are making, and they think they are making big change. They don't understand that you need 10 years to do this shit. Even more, like 20, 30, never-ending story.
That person had some amount of followers, so that's probably feeds into that, and they can show, look, I'm that good, and you all can see that my awesome stuff is being stolen. And turned out like it was just a tattoo. It wasn't like no big deal, and I'm like, whatever. Turns out that
small party tattoo.
It wasn't even posted on not on the shops, not on my Instagram. It was on a dude's Instagram. So he hunted it down there, found like the tags who made it, went and all this stuff, wrote on both profiles, and it was like, I was just chatting and like, oh my god, this is so awesome, like this is going somewhere, and that's like being posted and these like drama things, and there's some dudes, just random dudes showing up and commenting on the shops page like, oh, your tattoos are shit and you trace these designs, and I'm like, oh my god, this is obviously I go in with my, could you be more specific
Yeah,
and
yeah,
explain
yeah.
stuff and all that.
Wow.
And it ended up like I've been threatened that I should go to different country and sort that out with the gentleman one-to-one. Like, first of all, like I like some of the paintings I saw on the page because I didn't know that it exists, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's some nice stuff, but being upset about this is ridiculous. But since the person is not being reasonable and is being more like a
Yeah, you
dick.
tried to even communicate with him like in a nice way. You were hoping that he's gonna like, you know, be more simple.
Yeah, and the conversation ended with like, I was like, oh, this is going on stories. Like, as I said, you can do, and you're like, I don't care, and you still do it. I was like, okay, then I'm stealing your stories again. And then I was all the threats and all that stuff. And I posted that to some friends. I'm like, check it out, how's my Sunday going? And the person replied me, they're like, when the stories were posted, I was like, just a couple of minutes ago.
They're gone.
And they're like, they're gone. I'm like, oh, I want to see it. Boom, I'm blocked from one profile, blocked from other, then check their stories are gone. So
Blocking is cool, I like that.
so this was this like just conversation for nothing. I mean, I'm upset the person. I don't want to put any works up and mention any like names and anything because I don't want to shine any light on that person, like good, bad, or different.
Also,
but
what
it's about the situation. It's not about that person.
I
think
it's
it
just
was.
this story is really interesting. It's like one more guy showed, like, I think this part of the, again, like the education, like,
Obviously, person put their creativeness and
well,
made that idea and that kind of stuff, but the end result and the argument was really for nothing. And as it all being like blocked and like stories deleted, it was like just somebody stressed out big time, made a day for me, unfortunately, because I enjoy those situations. If it would be way more simple situation, if it would be like, that was my shit, it was taken, you know, why it happened, I would probably like be like, oh shit, like, you know, I feel bad, like I had no idea. And it's not like a big time kind of tattoo. Maybe
like,
it is
no
in an
matter
area, but
what,
I'm not.
like, it's just impossible to. It's impossible to say that they were the same tattoos.
Yeah, and
It's like just not working. Like if the guy is watching, I really hope he does, and somehow, in some reason, and you just have to, like all these people who try to wait when their work is gonna be stolen, they are just full of shit. Like it's there's not worth time to do this. Like just keep focusing on yourself and your work, and one day when you're gonna be able to do work that no one's gonna be able to steal, and if then someone's gonna steal your work, fucking boom.
Plus, I can name like 3 tattooists that I follow. I didn't know that style is big or anything that does that. And then you can kind of go through and see the vibes. It's like, okay, these pictures are inspired by this is by that, that's referred to that. Yeah, I think the main point is like, being original and creative is nice. Being a dick or being unreasonable is different story. And like I totally understand to be upset about that someone like referred or something, but
Come on,
not engaging in conversation and being a dick about it. That's,
Like,
that's when things get funny and that's when people get upset.
For example, look at all the roses people draw when they start tattooing. Like they all draw roses that few guys made it that way from beginning. You all copying the same shit. Even if you don't trace it, you're looking at the rose, you're redrawing it from watching it. These all roses are not your designs. They are fucking made before.
There's the one with the question mark in the middle.
Yeah.
There's one with the angry
It's
face.
like you do these roses all the time, and you talk about stealing other people's work. Like, fucking do study and then attack.
Or like the Pinterest thing where like every shop posts this picture of lavender stick and somebody made it first, but it's just everywhere and like
Everywhere. So like all these are stealing? No, like your tattoo is trendy. Like be happy. Someone wants this kind of shit somewhere else. If it would be a giant back piece and one-to-one stolen design, I would be also upset. But this was a totally different story. I think we are done with this episode. Otherwise, like we can talk forever about this. the fact is that just like no one's stealing your work. Chill out.
And even if they are, like, you can always open a like conversation and have a little discussion and see how it goes. Because
You're a tattooer, you work. Not everyone is doing custom designs.
Not everybody knows you.
Not everybody knows
like
you.
I got that reference from a customer. I had no idea who the person is. It didn't look like tattoo design to me in first place, so
Yeah.
I didn't know. And then I get all this fun stuff, and
And
I'm
then
like,
again, you post it online, and everyone can see your design. And if you think that it's gonna be untouchable, fuck you.
good luck. I mean, yeah, I turned out that I didn't even post it, so I was like, oh, it's like, where did he get it from? And then it's like from the customer, and
The window was open and the wind was blowing, and that's how you get this. So yeah, next time.
share your thoughts. I think there's no point to share thoughts about copying, but share your thoughts about people being dicks and people being braggy and very like
Artists.
internet gangster about it, you know?
Yeah, and if you have a story that someone else attacked you, I would love to see that kind of thing.
Because now I have to go to different country to do it like one-to-one as a man and something, and it's like till that sentence I didn't know even that it's a guy, because all the pictures were held up by a chick, and
A girlfriend will protect him. Okay, well, fuck it.
see you.
Bye.
This is how you talk.